So we're on page 8. Our title is part of a whole set. This is the abbreviation I usually use when I'm naming what kind of action we're talking about. Part of a whole, or WS. And remember, part of a whole, multiply. Part of a whole, multiply. Part of a whole, multiply. Excellent. And so when we're thinking about part of a whole set, I want to be very reflective in joining equal sets. So while joining equal sets and part of a whole set are both multiplication actions, they look differently in the way that they're presented. You will get the same answer, but the way that that answer is displayed is different. So we're going to do some reflecting today. With that being said, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and make my window pane, but I'm going to off-center it because we're going to need as much room as possible for the number line area. And we're going to need some room for our picture, P-I-C-T. Okay. We're going to put our equation over here. And note this, when we finish, we're going to do a quick little exit ticket to see if you're able, after last week's discussions and after today's discussions, if you're able to manipulate a new problem to be able to find the answer on your own. Okay, so know that that's what we're working towards today. So our information is going to look like this: 1/3 of 9. 1/3 of 9. So if I flip back to yesterday we had 9 groups of 1/3. Today we have that same information, but now it is split. So when I think about part of a whole, I want to go ahead and label 1/3 as the part. Remember, the word of means multiply. And when we're thinking about the number 9, we want to think about that as being the total or the whole set. And so, when it comes to our picture model, I know that I need 9 dots. That's what I'm going to use. But I'm going to refer to my denominator. My denominator is 3, so I'm going to put them in groups of 3. So I'm thinking to myself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to partition these into thirds. So this would be 1/3 of the group. This would be 2/3 of the group. And this would be 3/3 of the group. And if I wanted to know 1/3 of the whole group of 9, then that's going to look like me boxing in this whole group. And how many dots are represented in the 1/3 group? Braylon? 3. So what is my answer going to give me? 3. So if I do a quick flip back, did we get 3 in this picture? So we're able to get the same answer, but do they look differently? They do look differently. This looks to me like a repeated picture. Oh, like repeated addition. And this picture looks like part of a whole entire set of 9. Okay? So that's not how you need to think about that. So our number line should be a reflection of our picture. And so right now I'm going to start this number line at 0. And if I know that I'm trying to get all the way to 9, where is my number line going to need to end, Adeline? It's going to need to go all the way to 9. So I'm going to draw a straight line and I'm going to make an endpoint, and I'm going to call that 9. Now, it's kind of hard to partition that, so I'm going to think about trying to get a halfway point between 0 and 9, and that'd be like 4.5. So I'm just going to go with 5. I'm going to go right about half. I'm going to go a teeny tiny bit more, and I'm going to call this 5. And then I'm going to mark this off. So this would be like 1, this would be 2, this would be 3, this would be 4, and then we've got 5. Now I've got 6, and I've got 7, and 8, and then 9. That made that very easy to spread out over the line. So on my number line, I know you may not remember, but we start at 0 and we go to our whole set. What was our whole set of information worth, Samuel? No? 9. It's worth 9, so we're going to go all the way to 9. Oh, let's think about that for a minute. When I drew my picture, I drew 9 first, right? So on our number line, we go all the way to 9. I partitioned my picture so that I had groups of 3. So I'm going to partition my number line in groups of 3 too. So 1, 2, 3. This would be 1/3 of the group. 1, 2, 3. This would be 2/3 of the group. 1, 2, 3. This would be 3/3 of the group. The part that we're worried about is the 1/3 part. And that would be this. I would start at 0 and I would go all the way to the 1/3 marking line. What number is represented by the 1/3 marking line? Owen. 3. And 3 happens to be 1/3. And that matches my picture, doesn't it? All right, so we're just left with our equation now. So our equation is going to look like 1/3 times 9. And anytime we have a whole number and we're multiplying, we just put a 1 over that number, and we multiply numerator times numerator to get 9, and denominator times denominator to get 3. And what is 9 divided by 3 going to give you, Akarsha? 3. So what is our answer? 3. And one other strategy that could be helpful in finding the answer is part over total. And so when I'm thinking about that, my total amount would need to get to 9. So I make my EFT starting with 3, because we're talking about 1/3 of the group of 9. 3, 6, 9. And when I get the part that goes with the total, that would be 2, 3. 3 is the part that we're talking about. 9 is the total. Now, boys and girls, if you give me the fraction 3/9, I will count it wrong. Because 3/9 simplified is simply 1/3. And I don't want to know 1/3. I gave you that to start with. What I want to know is what number value is associated with 1/3. In that case, you would need to rewrite 3 is your answer. 3 is the number that is associated with 1/3 of a group of 9. Do a quick look. Look at your equation here and look at your equation here. Do you get the same answer?
Yes.
Look at your number line. What is the difference? This to me looks like repeated addition. And what does this look like? Yes. This looks like part of the whole. Would you agree? Yeah? The whole number line, but we want a little part. This to me looks like a bunch of 1/3 pieces being put together over and over and over again. Make note of that, boys and girls, because sometimes, and I mentioned this yesterday, sometimes our answer choices are not the answer. It's not going to be the 3. It may not even be the equation. Sometimes our answer choices look like models. Could look like a number line model, could look like a picture model. That's why we spend a lot of time in 5th grade on models.